We have the technology. We know the solutions. A global agreement is in place. It's now time to use your voice in the fight against the climate crisis. Join us for a journey around the globe as we focus on businesses, leaders, artists, and everyday people who are stepping up, speaking out, and fighting like our world depends on it. Because it does. This is 24 Hours of Reality. You too can be the voice of change, the voice of the future. Let your voice be the voice of reality.
Welcome. I'm Jamil Smith. Thank you for joining us for 24 Hours of Reality, Be the Voice of Reality. The signing of the Paris Agreement 2 years ago made it clear people all over the world understand the urgency of the climate crisis and our leaders need to stay committed to fighting it. Now, while real progress is being made, more must be done, and faster, in order to limit the worst effects. That's why we all must find our voice on the climate issue and fight for action. Now, travel with us tonight as former Vice President of the United States and the founder of the Climate Reality Project, Al Gore, leads the way around the globe. We'll be focusing on the powerful ways activists are speaking up to empower and change entire communities and places where still more climate voices need to be heard. For the next 18 hours, we'll be live from our New York City home base, the Bridge at Cornell Tech, which is one of the most environmentally friendly and energy-efficient campuses in the world, including water-efficient designs to protect local resources and harvest rainwater. Now, from here, we'll explore the solution each region has at hand, the challenges they face, and how we all can be a voice of reality to succeed in ensuring a sustainable future. For the next hour, we'll continue our journey by heading into Asia and hearing from some of the powerful climate voices in both Japan and South Korea. And now, please join me in welcoming the man whose voice continues to lead the charge in educating and inspiring action on the climate crisis, the founder and chairman of the Climate Reality Project, former U.S. Vice President Al Gore.
Jamil, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for helping out, man. So we're going to go to Northeast Asia, and we're going to try to focus in this brief presentation and during the hour on both Japan and South Korea. No easy task, because both are incredibly significant, dynamic countries with incredible economic strength. But let's start by setting the context. As always, the Earth is in danger, and we have to look at only three questions. Must we change? Can we change? Will we change? And of course, when we look at this first question, must we change, you got to start by taking note of the fact that the Earth's atmosphere is not a vast and limitless sky. It's a very thin shell of atmosphere surrounding the planet. And unbelievably, that's what we're using as an open sewer for the gaseous waste of our global economy. And it's trapping a lot of heat. 110 million tons additional spewed into that thin atmosphere every 24 hours. This is really causing a huge problem. It comes from a lot of places, including agriculture and forestry and mining and all kinds of sources. But the principal source by far is the burning of fossil fuels for electricity, heat processing, transportation. After World War II, you can see the emissions started going up very, very rapidly. And that's what's driving global temperatures up so quickly, because it's trapping the heat that would otherwise be re-radiated as infrared back into space. And so we're breaking records practically every year now. 16 of the 17 hottest years ever measured with instruments have been since 2001. The hottest of all was last year, the second hottest the year before that, and the third hottest the year before that. So it's pretty clear what's going on. Now, in South Korea last year, there was a mid-August heat wave that caused a massive fish die-off. It killed a bunch of people. Also, a lot of people suffered heat stroke. Same summer in Japan, temperatures went above 35 degrees Celsius, 95 Fahrenheit for an extended period of time. And this is a new slide to me. It's very interesting. It goes back 1,200 years to the year 800. They have meticulous record keeping of the cherry blossoms in Japan. This is in Kyoto. And you can see for 1,200 years, the blooming date was between April 10th and April 20th, and now it's started going much, much earlier in the year because of the warming temperatures. You know, the plants and the animals are telling us the same thing the scientists are telling us. Mother Nature is pretty persuasive. But you know, on a global basis, more than 90% of all this trapped heat is going into the oceans, and half of this incredible increase has come within the last 20 years, and it's now going deep into the ocean, below 2,000 meters. And when the ocean warms up, the storms get stronger. They come over the warmer ocean waters, so they pick up a lot more moisture, and the wind speeds increase. This summer in Japan, this typhoon Namato killed a bunch of people in Japan. Typhoon Chaba killed people in South Korea. The typhoons are getting a lot stronger and a lot bigger. And the warming of the oceans is also disrupting the water cycle by increasing pretty significantly the amount of water vapor coming off the oceans into the sky. Excuse me. And the warmer air holds more water vapor. So when that comes over land, you get these enormous downpours and record-breaking floods. This was this summer in Japan. This same heat obviously not only gets more water vapor off the oceans, it pulls the moisture out of the soil and makes the droughts go deeper and last longer. This summer in South Korea, the water level in this reservoir was just a little over 10% of normal. Both Koreas have been suffering an historic drought. In Japan, there was an unprecedented water shortage in the Kanto region. The reinsurance companies, of course, they're in this business of risk perception and management, and they've been tracking the droughts and the storms and the floods and the fires, and also the sea level rise, because actually Tokyo is number 8 on the top 10 list of cities at risk from sea level rise in the next several decades. Tokyo, for example, has $1 trillion of assets at risk from a 1 meter sea level rise. And that's certainly now projected in the decades ahead, actually significantly more than that. It's also a medical emergency because tropical diseases have been moving northward in the northern hemisphere. We have seen the air travel revolution partly responsible for that, but the range of mosquitoes and ticks and other carriers of these diseases is expanding, and the climate conditions are changing the places where these diseases take root. A few years ago, this popular park in Tokyo was closed because of an outbreak of dengue fever. We're also seeing a threat to living species with which we share this planet. Up to half of all the land-based species are at risk of extinction in this century. And so when you add these and all the other factors that make up the cost of carbon, the climate crisis is not affordable, and it's threatening the future of our civilization. It's also the #1 threat to the global economy. So, first question, must we change? Yes, we have to change. The scientists tell us, Mother Nature is telling us, we can see it and feel it all around us. What about the second question? Can we change? Well, yeah, and that's an optimistic yes, because we now have the tools available. And Japan and South Korea have been contributing to the causes of optimism. We saw just 17 years ago the best projections for wind power were that the world would reach 30 gigawatts in 2010. We actually beat that prediction by 16 times over. It's quite dramatic, and Japan has been one of the countries leading the way with massive increases in wind energy, and they've just installed the largest floating wind turbine in the world last year, just off the coast of Fukushima. In South Korea, Jeju province, that I had the privilege of visiting not too long ago, has set the goal of being 100% renewable by 2030. It's very ambitious. Their plans are very impressive. They're going to make it, and they're converting 100% to electric vehicles as part of that. But let's look at solar. That's where the even more exciting progress is taken. 15 years ago, the most optimistic projections were 1 gigawatt per year added worldwide by 2010. When 2010 got here, we beat that 17 times over, and last year we beat it 75 times over. This is an exponential curve that is really getting steeper all the time. And Japan has been a real leader among all nations. It's second only to China. I'm kind of hoping the U.S. is going to overtake Japan, but right now Japan is really doing great. South Korea is as well, vastly expanding solar. Japan, as I mentioned, is now the number 2 nation in the world where installed solar energy capacity is concerned. Congratulations, that's very impressive. And worldwide, I'll say again, we get as much energy in 1 hour as the entire global economy uses all year long. We're seeing storage capacity for energy and batteries increase dramatically in the last few years, but look at the years ahead. It dwarfs what we thought was impressive the last few years. This is really at a tipping point, and it's going to change everything. All of the automobile manufacturers in the world, including those in Japan and South Korea, are shifting to electric vehicles. Very exciting. So can we change? Yes, you bet we can. So it comes down to the most important third and final question: will we change? And I'm convinced that we will change, in part because the historic breakthrough in Paris 2 years ago this month saw every single nation in the world make a commitment to get down to net zero global warming pollution by mid-century or as soon thereafter as possible. Yes, President Trump said he wants to pull the U.S. out, but he can't legally do that until the day after the next presidential election in the U.S. in 2020. And meanwhile, many of our largest states, hundreds of our cities, hundreds of our universities, thousands of our businesses are saying we're still in Paris. Hashtag we got this. U.S. is going to meet and exceed its commitments under the Paris Agreement, regardless of what happens in the White House. And in Japan, we've seen some inspiring leadership from Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. I wish they'd stop subsidizing the building of coal plants in the rest of the world, but we're seeing tremendous progress. And in July, South Korea pledged to spend an enormous amount on renewable energy infrastructure, and both in South Korea and Japan, there is grassroots support. So join those using their voices to fight the climate crisis. Use your voice as a voice of reality and fight like your world depends on it, because it does.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. We want to hear your voice, so let's check in on what you've been saying on social media with Caleb Worthy and Van Ness Wu.
Welcome back to the social media corner of 24 Hours of Reality. I'm so excited because I have a co-host for the next 5 hours, Van Ness.
What's up, everybody? It's Van Ness Wu here. You're excited. I'm excited because I get to co-host with you.
Oh, stop it. So now I have a few questions. How did you get involved in the environmental movement?
For me, ultimately, it really was just seeing what was happening around me, you know,
Right.
whether it be in China or coming back to America, and just seeing the things that are happening and wondering what I can do about it. And ultimately, it really was the film, The Inconvenient Truth, that really kind of got me into a better understanding of what is happening and what I can actually do to help out.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's what inspired me as well. I remember my 9th grade teacher showing me Inconvenient Truth,
Right.
and it changed my life. I
Right.
realized that is something I need to put my time towards.
Yeah.
And so what has your experience been in China in terms of what you've been experiencing
Wow, well,
with the change
China,
of
I
climate?
mean, it's a great place, beautiful, beautiful place. It's so much history and so much, tradition over there. But one thing that really I realized was whenever I was in Beijing, there was a certain period, certain seasons where everybody and their mothers were just wearing the face masks, wearing the 3M masks, walking around everywhere. The air pollution, I mean, there's apps that came out specifically for how bad the air was, to test the air results and everything. And it's quite frightening because, you know, everybody lives it as if this is the normal, this is the norm, you know,
Right.
but it's not. And that's what really made me feel like I need to do something about it. What can I do? And I think it's just through every little step of bringing more awareness to it to people around China, people around Asia, and then, you know, kind of coming together and doing it. Yeah.
Well, and that's why we're here for 24
That's
Hours
right.
of Reality. And we want to keep hearing from you on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. As I've said before, if you post with the hashtag,
24 Hours of Reality.
there's a chance you could be up on this screen and a part of our amazing broadcast.
Yes.
Each hour, we've been sharing inspiring solutions already in place around the globe. These are stories of individuals or groups taking action at the personal, business, community, or political levels and having a real impact. For example, cities make up only 2% of our planet's surface, but they contain more than half the world's population, which means a single city making a commitment to reduce energy consumption and embrace clean energy can have a huge impact, something that the mayor of Seoul has already proven. Take a look.
Around the world, everyday people are stepping up, speaking out and fighting the climate crisis like our world depends on it. Because it does. Every voice makes a difference. These are the voices of change, the voices of the future, the voices of reality.
한국은 원래 찜통 같은 폭염을 경험했습니다. 기후변화 시대의 폭염과 한파, 태풍과 홍수는 예외가 아니라 이미 뉴노멀이 되고 있습니다. 제가 서울시장이 되면서 그래서 지속 가능한 도시를 위해서는 우리가 기후변화에 관련된 정책을 제대로 수립하고 실행하지 않으면 안 되겠다 이렇게 결심을 했죠. 서울은 2020년까지 원전 2기에 해당하는 400만 TOE를 줄이고 온실가스 1000만 톤을 줄이는데 지금 도전하고 있습니다. 여러분이 지속 가능한 미래를 만드는 에너지입니다. 그야말로 이 풀뿌리 단위에서 이런 에너지의 감축이라고 하는 것을 이 일상의 삶 속에서 실천해내는 게 중요하겠다. 성대골이라고 하는 하나의 마을이 아주 우수한 하나의 선례, 모델이 됐죠.
성대골 에너지 슈퍼마켓은 일단 이 마을에서 에너지 운동을 하고 있는 하나의 본부, 아지트라고 볼 수 있고요. 건물이 몇 층인가요?
저희 건물은 4층, 5층이 옥상입니다.
굉장히 넓네요. 서울시가 하는 미니 태양광이라든지 적은 금액으로라도 자기가 뜻이 있다면 얼마든지 생선 활동을 할 수 있기 때문에
내가 이렇게 하는 것이
네.
정말 도움이 되고
네네.
어떻게 하면 자원을
네.
그렇게 사용할 수 있다는 게
네.
생각보다 자부담이 높고.
다음 주 목요일 날 오후에 주민들과 함께 그런 워크숍 자리를 마련했습니다. 보통 아파트에 이런 이야기를 나눠보면서 어떤 사람이 태양광을 설치할 의향이 있는지 큰 사이즈가 있거든요. 큰 사이즈.
네.
오 년 전에 후쿠시마에서 핵발전소 사고가 난 거를 저희가 접하면서 이제 마을에서 엄마들이 우리가 쓰는 전기가 너무나 위험한 전기라는 거를 깨닫고 나서 그때부터 이제 에너지 운동과 공부가 시작이 된 거예요.
진짜 갈래요?
아이디어가 나와서 저렇게 자동차 양쪽 날개에 태양광을 설치를 하고 그리고 그 안에는 태양광으로 발전되는 전기 에너지를 가지고 솜사탕도 돌리고 그리고 믹서기. 평소에는 우리가 집에서 전기를 아이들이 쓰게 될 때 전기가 어떻게 만들어지는지 어떤 방식으로 만들어지는지 모르고 이제 전기를 쓰게 되잖아요. 이 얼마나 발전되고 있는지 보여주는 거야. 태양광이 이렇게 있는 거야. 우리가 우리 에너지를 써야 돼.
얘가 정말 답이야. 아니 알려주는 게 아니라 뭔지만 본 거야. 무슨 문제?
자, 오, 맞아요. 우리 집에 가서
이걸로 천연 에너지는 해 만들 수 있어. 내가 할래. 근데 너 분명은 남의 것을 빼먹는 거지.
지금 현재는 서울에 한 50여 개 정도의 에너지 자립 마을이 생겼고 한 100개 정도 만들 생각입니다. 그리고 사실은 서울 시내 모든 마을 지역 공동체가 다 에너지 자립 마을이 되도록 할 생각입니다.
노이 에코 동작구에는 5개 자립마을이 있어요. 근데 이제 노이 에코 자립마을 흔들어주세요. 이제 오늘 주제가 미니 태양광이었어요. 성대골이 내년부터 시작해서 한 3년 안에 마을에 한 10,000개 정도를 설치할까 네, 희망을 해보는데.
태양광이라는 건요 무한히 리필되는 거잖아요. 전기를 막 물처럼 쓰셨네요 그냥. 근데 이 전기가 그냥 공짜로 생기는 건 아니잖아요. 이게 다.
저기 하진영 선생님, 우리 선생님이 지금 미니 태양광을 설치할까 말까 엄청 갈등 중이신데 오늘 지금 워크숍 지금 들었고 시장님 뵙고 어쩌실 건가요? 잠깐 이거 네, 저기 여러 가지로 망설임도 얘기 좀
이렇게
해주시고.
좋은 그 사업을 유도해 주시고 우리한테 알려주셔서 참 좋은 기분은 듭니다. 그런데 정말 이렇게 좋은 것이면 시 전체가 아니라 나라 전체도 이렇게 좀 바뀌어야 되지 않겠느냐.
네, 어휴, 완전히 저 국가 지도자 같은 말씀을 하십니다. 근데 미니 태양광 설치할지 안 할지는 아직 말씀 안 하셨어요.
이미 마음을 먹었습니다.
박수. 네, 네.
어디다 할지 일단 정하고요.
이쪽이 햇빛이 이쪽인데 이렇게 그래도 지금은 이렇게 네.
지금 전 세계 인구의 절반 이상이 도시에 살고 있습니다. 그리고 에너지 소비는 사실 도시에서 주로 이루어지고 있고요. 아무리 국가가 큰 기후 변화의 틀을 탄소 배출의 억제라든지 이런 기후 변화에 대한 어떤 약속을 한다고 하더라도 그것이 실제 그래서 실행해서 이루어지는 것은 결국 도시입니다.
돌리나요?
네, 이렇게 딸깍 소리 나요. 그리고 이제 이거를 가정에 꽂으면 연장해서 꽂으면 모든 것이 끝납니다.
간단하네요. 예, 이제 이걸 설치하고 나니까 그동안에 희망했던 에너지도 절약하게 되고 우리 가정에서 전기도 조금 더 원활하게 쓸 수 있을 것 같아서 즐겁습니다. 많이. 좋았습니다.
제 소망은 이 모든 옥상에 태양광이 다 설치가 돼서
아이들하고 전기 안 쓰고
이 태양은 정말 공평하게 온 세상에 햇볕을 내려주잖아요.
안녕하세요.
시민들이 직접 꿈꾸는 그런 탈원전 또는 신재생 에너지에 의존하는 사회로 갈 수 있다는 것을 지금 증명해 보였다고 생각합니다. 가야 됩니다. 그래야 기후 변화를 우리가 제대로 대응하는 것이라고 생각하고요.
이렇게 해서
These are the voices of change, the voices of the future, the voices of reality.
Each year, 24 Hours of Reality brings the world together for one full day to talk about the reality of the climate crisis and how we can solve it. Today, you can become a citizen producer of this live broadcast and have your name appear in the closing credits with a gift of just $50. Don't miss your chance to support this world-changing event. Visit 24hoursofreality.com/donate. Donate $50 by noon Eastern Time later today, and you'll see your name in the closing credits at the end of the show. Now, South Korean entertainer and television host Eric Nam sits down with K-pop star Minzy to talk about the importance of climate activism in this incredible multilingual interview. Check it out.
Hello everybody, this is Eric Nam.
Hi, this is Minji.
And we're joining you from Seoul, South Korea. Thank you so much, first of all, for inviting us to be a part of this amazing campaign. We're incredibly excited to be a part of 24 Hours of Reality. And of course, thank you so much to Vice President Al Gore for having us as well.
네, 이렇게 멋진 캠페인에 참여할 수 있도록 저희를 초대해 주신 엘고어 부통령님께 정말 진심으로 감사드립니다.
So you're joining us for the Asia portion of 24 Hours of Reality. And we're going to let you know a little bit about what's going on in Asia regarding climate change and what we can do to slow it down and the positive impacts that we can have in helping this planet for our generation and the generations to come. All right, so Minzy, what are your thoughts on climate change? What are your concerns?
저는 이제 지구 온난화에 대해서 굉장히 깊게 고심을 하고 있는데 지구 온난화 때문에 이제 빙하가 녹고 있잖아요.
그쵸.
그래서 그것 때문에 너무 걱정이 많이 되더라고요.
네.
이 문제에 대해서 그래서 좀 심각하게 고민해보고 또 많이 알고 싶어요.
Ah, okay. So Minzy is obviously very concerned about the environment and climate change, as I think all of us involved in this campaign are. As the polar ice caps are melting, sea levels are rising, what can we do to slow this down, to have a positive impact on the earth that we not only use right now, but for the future generations, for our kids, for our grandchildren, and for people all around the world. So I think Minzy and I both share those kinds of concerns, and we're here to encourage all of you watching from wherever you are to get involved to help slow this process down, to make a positive impact. 혹시 민지 씨는 지금 환경에 대해서 뭐 되게 걱정도 많이 하시고 공부도 많이 하신다고 들었는데 평소에 좀 좋은 습관 아니면 좀 더 신경 써서 하는 행동들이 있나요?
저는 분리수거에
분리수거에
굉장히
네.
신경을 많이 쓰고 있습니다.
오케이, 저도
집에서도 정말 열심히 분리수거를 하고.
네. 좀 귀찮지만 해야 되는 거잖아요.
그렇죠, 해야 되는
아니, 솔직히
거죠,
말하면은
정말.
귀찮죠. 근데 해야 돼요. You have no. So Minzy and I, in Korea, one of the great things is one of the great things is we have to separate all of our trash and all of our waste. And as I'm sure many of you know, so much of what we use today in the world is very disposable, and it's filling up our landfills, our oceans are being flooded with plastic, and we should be doing our parts in terms of recycling, reusing, and making sure that we do our part in slowing down this awful process of disposable use. And in Korea, everything has to be separated. And although, to be honest, it can be a little more tiring, or some may say annoying, it's something that we should take on as a responsibility as citizens of the earth. So Minzy does it, I do it. If you don't do it already, you absolutely should be.
Yeah.
So join us in that, alright?
그러면 에릭남 오빠는 이 환경 문제에 대해서 이렇게 진지하게 고민해봤을 때 어떤 부분에 대해서 좀 더 많이 신경이 쓰이시고 또 생각해보게 되는지.
For me, I think the biggest concern I have is for the global community. What we use and what we dispose of so easily affects people in places that aren't easily seen. Climate change and the effects that it has on a daily basis disrupts economies, disrupts societies, populations, causes environmental refugees, and while we may not be able to see it on a daily basis, people are losing their lives, their homes, their livelihoods, and just because we're not there and we're blind to it doesn't mean that we don't have a responsibility to do our part. Technology has advanced so much. Solar panels are now cheaper than fossil fuels. China has taken the lead as a global leader for renewable energy sources. And as the cost of using renewable energy and getting involved in green campaigns goes down, we should take it upon ourselves to get involved and be more active and raise our voices and come together to kind of make sure that we save what we have and be very, very strategic about it. So that's what I've been very passionate about looking into and studying and seeing where I can get involved. And for me, that's why I'm so excited to be a part of this 24 hours of reality.
Let's head back over to Caleb Worthy and Van Ness Wu to see what you've been saying.
Oh, hey, what's up, everybody? It's Van Ness Wu here.
And it's Caleb Worthy here over in the social media headquarters for hashtag 24 hours of reality. Now, we got some cool posts over here.
Yes, we have one from South Korea. South Korea's watching. What's up, everybody in South Korea?
We also have one from my home country of Canada. Thank you, Canada. We have a really cool one from Florida as well. Now, there was some people that you may have seen here earlier, and they were climate reality leaders.
Here they are.
In San Francisco. That's the picture.
Wei Tai Kwok.
They did something really incredible. So the climate reality training program is something I was a part of, where you take a course and you learn for a whole weekend how to become a climate reality training leader. And you can learn this presentation that I have done all over the country. And it's a really fun opportunity to learn more about climate change, the environmental movement, and how to lead in your own community. So check out what these guys did. They actually have some of their favorite slides that you learn from the climate reality training program. And they decided to print them off and tweet them all out in order. It is really fantastic.
That's so awesome to see. Thank you guys so much for that.
And the best thing about the training program is you get this little green circle at the very end, which means you are a climate reality leader. So keep tweeting, keep Instagramming, and remember, use the hashtag
24 hours of reality.
And we also want to know why you're watching and what you do in your community to help the planet.
Thank you, gentlemen. Over the last hour, we spent time getting to know some of the challenges faced by people in both Japan and South Korea and the ways that people are taking action towards a more sustainable future. Now remember, the most powerful warrior in the fight against the climate crisis is you. There are many ways we can make a difference in our politics, in our communities, in our businesses, and in our own lives. Go to 24hoursofreality.org to get your climate action kit and learn more about how you can raise awareness of the climate crisis around the world and be the voice of reality.
The climate crisis has hit home with devastating effect, disrupting people's lives and livelihoods everywhere. At the Climate Reality Project, we're empowering people across the planet to become powerful forces for change, fighting for climate solutions at every level of society. We train citizens to become climate reality leaders, dynamic activists who train and work with former U.S. Vice President Al Gore and field-leading experts to mobilize their communities for action. Around the world, our branch offices and local chapters bring climate reality leaders and concerned citizens into the fight for a sustainable future. Like in Brazil, where our activists pushed government leaders to ratify the Paris Agreement in the midst of political turmoil. Or in India, where grassroots efforts helped train 3,000 teachers on the climate crisis. Our 100% Committed campaign gives people a voice in their energy future, encouraging cities like Park City, Utah, and schools like Colorado State University to commit to 100% renewable electricity. And each year, our 24 Hours of Reality broadcast invites millions to join an all-star cast of musicians, celebrities, thought leaders, and more as we direct the world's attention to protecting the planet we all share. Today, as the United States begins a process to withdrawal from the historic Paris Climate Agreement, this work takes on heightened urgency. Now more than ever, we've got to fight like our world depends on it, because it does. Join us as we make our voices heard, as we demand that our leaders take action, and together, we'll make a bright and sustainable future a reality.
good, y'all? This is Jay Park here in Seoul, Korea, and I wanted to talk to you about the climate crisis who's affecting us all over the world. So we've got to make sure to do something about it right now. Join me at 24hoursofreality.org/stream and make sure you let the world know we are the voice of reality.
Climate change is our biggest challenge yet. The world's getting warmer, seas are rising, and our weather is getting more and more dangerous. Our planet's future is in our hands. We must and can act and lead the fight to a clean energy future. All across the planet, climate reality leaders are doing just that. They're inspiring people to stand up and take action when it matters. You can join them, become a climate reality leader, and learn what it means to lead a world-changing movement. You'll train with former Vice President Al Gore and some of the best scientists and influencers out there. You'll learn the latest on climate science and solutions, and learn how to share it with a message that moves audiences to act. You want to make a difference? Become the world changer you know you can be. Become a climate reality leader.
I am Haven Coleman.
我叫尹伦。
Diana Guzmán Barraza.
وصار لي في الحقل هذا مجال الطاقة الشمسية أكثر من 30 سنة.
Ich vertraue darauf, wenn wir alle achtsam handeln, dann kommen wir voran.
There's a saying that says if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
Climate change is the greatest moral challenge of our day. We human beings are causing climate change and global warming.
We have to take this into our own hands.
Here are the actions that you can take.
En dit is wat jij dagelijks kunt doen.
Become an expert on climate change to surprise adults of your awesomeness.
Talk to your children about the importance of climate change and what can be done. Think about your transportation.
You can ride your bike.
Consider switching to an electric car.
Op te laden of je elektrische fiets om zo op een duurzame manier naar je werk te gaan.
I think people should buy food that is locally grown.
Eet minder vlees, maar kies voor een ander alternatief.
No uses desechables. No uses popotes.
Pakai ulang dan daur ulang.
不要尽量少的制造垃圾，减少你的碳足迹。
Encuentra energía solar para tu casa, oficina o universidad.
I think renewable energy is one of the big pieces of the puzzle.
And moving into renewable energy, I think, is quite important because it starts in the household.
I'm going to do a good job in cleaning the earth to stop climate change.
We must participate in the world that we want to see.
Meet with your elected officials.
En stem op mensen in de politiek die jouw mening verkondigen.
Todos tenemos un rol.
Raise your voice, think out loud, let the change begin.
We have to pick up pace.
It's one single measure that will make a huge difference.
We have to be hopeful. We have to believe that we can fix it.
World's first climate change game show!
因为我们只有一个气候环境，我们只有一个地球。
We can all do something.
여러분이 지속 가능한 미래를 만드는 에너지입니다.
One voice can really make a difference.
Be
the voice.
the voice
The voice of reality.
of reality.
Be the voice of reality.
Ik ben een stem van realiteit.
I am
a voice.
Voice of reality.
Yo soy la voz de la realidad.
Welcome back to the social media headquarters of 24 Hours of Reality. I'm Caleb Worthy.
I'm Vin S. Wu.
And we are your social media hosts
Yes, we are.
for the next 4 hours.
4
And
hours.
4 hours, right?
4 hours, yeah.
We're not going anyway. We're going to stay
Well,
here. We're going to be
can't-
on social media. And you may be asking yourselves, like, what do the social media hosts do? Well, we highlight social media posts with the hashtag
24 Hours of Reality.
That's right. We're on Instagram. We're on
Facebook.
Twitter. We're on Facebook, that's right. And we're looking for posts of people having watch parties, messages saying that you're watching, selfies. We had a selfie challenge earlier. I'd love to bring that back later. We want to see why you are passionate about protecting this planet.
We want to see you right here, right now.
Exactly. So if you post with that, there's a very good chance you could actually end up on this board, which means you'll be in front of the whole world.
And you'll be talking to Caleb, you'll be talking to myself. How cool is that?
Not bad.
I don't think so.
Also, check these out. So these are some examples of some of the posts we've been getting. And we asked last time, what do you do to help the planet? And we got some pretty cool responses.
Yeah, definitely. Dutchy Mom F2 right here. I think it's pretty cute and cool right here. It says, blanket instead of turning up the heat while watching Al Gore.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, and it's fun and, you know, it's kind of enjoyable.
And it's a great blanket.
It's nice quilt.
We got this really fun one. This family is planting trees in Washington this weekend, and I think that's a fabulous thing to do. I remember doing that with my school, and it's a really great way to help the planet.
I like this one right here for Rachel. It says at PT for breakfast. She says really just haven't been joining in from DC to act on climate. There we go. There we go. That helps. And then just really getting into the Lime bike and using that as a mode of transportation. I think that's great. We actually use that in Taipei and in China as well.
We also have someone here saying that they have a vegetable garden that helps reduce carbon emissions. We also have some people talking about their diet as well. They have vegetarian chili that they're eating as they watch hashtag 24 Hours of Reality. So you could be up on this wall. All you have to use is use the hashtag 24 Hours of Reality on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, and you can come join Van Ness and I on the social media board.
Yes.
This is a critical moment in the fight against the climate crisis. Your voice is needed to make a difference. Join us this December for 24 Hours of Reality. We'll take a journey around the globe to focus on those who are stepping up, speaking out, and fighting like our world depends on it. Because it does. You too can be the voice of change, the voice of the future. Let your voice be the voice of reality.